Young Sheldon just made George and his cheating even more despicable. Hello everyone, my name is Alana. Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And give this video a like. Up. There are spoilers for young Sheldon's 17th episode of Season 6, a German folk song and an actual adult. A apparently innocuous exchange in young Sheldon Season 6, Episode 17, a German folk song and an actual adult, makes George and his impending cheating scandal all the more heinous. The Big Bang Theory didn't think highly of Sheldon's father. He and Mary both disparaged him, presenting him as a lousy and careless father. Of Sheldon's several disparaging tales about George, but perhaps the worst came to light when she spoke with Penny about the cause of his peculiar knocking behavior. He discovered George cheating on his mother in their bedroom, so he decided to start knocking 3 times. George is a very different person than young Sheldon. The prequel portrays a flawed but devoted family man in place of the father who was always intoxicated, and about whom Sheldon and Mary complained. Although there are a number of plot discrepancies in the episodes, George's portrayal is the most obvious and pressing. Although young Sheldon has escaped punishment for this, since George's adultery scandal is slowly approaching and the spin-off somehow made it worse, it is forced to address Sheldon's most tragic The Big Bang Theory narrative. In A German Folk Song and an Actual Adult, by young Sheldon, Mary returns home following her contentious discussion about Brenda. Even Mary thinks it strange that George, who is unaware of the real events, seems curiously supportive of his wife. The Cooper patriarch's nonchalant declaration of love for his wife at the end adds to the strangeness of their complex connection. As George may look like he's attempting to fix his marriage, his acts are dishonest and blatantly dishonest because his cheating scandal is imminent. Sheldon's story about discovering his father cheating is about to unfold because young Sheldon Season 6 is now set during the spring vacation of 1993. However, it's probable that George's affair had been going on for a while before the boy genius caught him having an affair with someone else. The Cooper patriarch may be trying to seduce his wife in order to cover up the fact that he is having a serious affair in secret. He's trying to cover his tracks and avoid detection by overcompensating. Related, the biggest George cheating scandal theory was just disproved by young Sheldon. Even though young Sheldon has arranged Sheldon's trip to Germany, a number of storylines, such as George's infidelity scandal, still need to be resolved before he departs Texas. Showrunner Steve Holland has already stated that it won't occur in Season 6, as the emphasis will be on Missy's terrible future and the relationship between Mandy and Georgie. This indicates that the incident will occur sometime in the first few episodes of Young Sheldon Season 7 if it is shown on television. If so, even if the Big Bang Theory prequel concludes after the next year, CBS will still have time to handle the ramification event. Young Sheldon has never held back when it comes to emotional drama. But in a shocking turn, the show just made George Cooper Sr., the father of the beloved future genius, even more detestable than fans ever thought possible. If you thought George's suspected affair was already bad, this latest episode took things to a new, gut-wrenching low. And this time, the writers didn't hint. They practically confirmed what fans have feared for years. George isn't just about to cheat. He's actively becoming the worst version of himself. Here's why this twist has fans furious, and how it changes everything we thought we knew about the Cooper patriarch. Since Season 1, young Sheldon has carefully threaded the needle with George Sr. Fans knew he was doomed. The Big Bang Theory had already painted a bleak picture. A dad who drank too much, didn't treat Mary well, and worst of all, was caught cheating by Sheldon himself. But young Sheldon took a different route, at first. Lance Barber's version of George was funny, relatable, and honestly, kind of lovable. He seemed like a man just trying to hold his flawed family together. That's what made this twist so painful. In the latest episode, the writers dropped the mask. George's actions weren't just disappointing, they were downright with George continuing his emotional descent. While Mary leans on her faith and Pastor Rob to cope with the growing tension in their marriage, George decides that the real problem isn't his own actions, it's Mary. Rather than acknowledge his feelings, George lashes out. He accuses Mary of abandoning him, of spending too much time at church, of pushing him away. And while some of these points could have been valid if handled maturely, George twists them into a weapon, making himself the victim, while he's literally sneaking off for private, emotionally charged conversations with Brenda Sparks. Yes, Brenda. The same neighbor who's been giving him that look for seasons now. It was bad enough when George and Brenda shared beers on the porch or exchanged awkward, tension-filled glances. But now, young Sheldon has fully leaned into the emotional cheating narrative. In one of the most talked-about scenes of the season, George and Brenda share a moment that was too intimate for anyone to defend. They talk late into the night, laugh about their marriages, and George confesses that, "Sometimes I feel like no one really sees me." That line, a gut punch, not because it's untrue, but because he's saying it to Brenda, not his wife. Instead of working through his issues, George seeks comfort in the one woman he absolutely shouldn't. And it's not just viewers who are noticing. While George is busy convincing himself he's the victim, the kids are watching their family crumble. In a hauntingly quiet scene, Missy asks Georgie, "Are Mom and Dad okay?" Georgie just shrugs, clearly aware that something's off, but unable to say it out loud. And Sheldon? The future genius may not understand relationships yet, but you can see the seeds being planted, the confusion, the discomfort, the beginning of that trauma he'll carry into adulthood. It's no longer just a subplot. George's descent is now the emotional center of the show. Social media erupted after the episode aired. George just hit a new low. He's not just cheating, he's blaming Mary for it. At Cooper Chayaz on X. "I used to like George. Now I just want Mary to leave him and take the kids." Reddit user at SheldonFan987. "This is way worse than the Big Bang Theory ever implied. George is emotionally abusive now." TikTok reaction. Some fans are even calling for the show to fully pivot and make Mary the true lead for the final stretch, letting her shine while George sinks into the mess he created. With the show heading into its final episodes, one thing is clear. The writers are no longer protecting George. He's not a misunderstood husband. He's not a flawed man doing his best. He's a guy making choice after choice to not be better, and it's catching up with him. Will the show have him actually cheat on Mary? That remains to be seen, but emotionally, he already has, and viewers will never look at him the same way again. What's worse, we know what's coming. George will die soon, and Sheldon will carry the weight of these events for the rest of his life. Young Sheldon is no longer just a prequel, it's becoming a tragedy. Young Sheldon just made George Cooper Sr.'s descent into infidelity way more disturbing. In the latest episode, he gaslights Mary, emotionally leans on Brenda Sparks, and blames everyone but himself, and fans are furious. This isn't just foreshadowing anymore. It's full-on betrayal. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.